The 1984 version of 1984 is the most recent cinematic adaptation of George Orwell's book. And it's the version which, if people are aware that there's a film version at all of the book, then this is the one that they're aware of. I didn't know about the 1956 version until I started researching the 1984 version. And I promise that for maybe the next 3 minutes, I won't say 1984 again. However, if you want to see my review of the 1956 version, then please click here. I know, subtle as a brick. It's exactly the same plot synopsis as I used for my review of the 1956 version, because it's exactly the same plot as the 1956 version. So just give me a second, okay? Following the nuclear war, the world has been divided into 3 separate superstates: Oceania, East Asia and Eurasia. 1984, sorry, had to say it one more time, takes place in London, which is Airstrip 1 for Oceania, and is in the grip of a totalitarian government known as Big Brother. Big Brother, also known as the Party, rules over every element of its citizens' lives, controlling how they act, speak, interact with each other, and working to control how they think and how they feel. One citizen, though, Winston Smith, is beginning to have rebellious thoughts against the Party and seeks to overthrow Big Brother with the help of Julia, a woman he meets and falls in love with. Sorted. This time, though, things feel a bit more fleshed out. Despite a really quite brief running time of only 81 minutes, Winston at least gets some character development. No one else does, to be honest, but he is by a mile the obvious main character in the story. We get some flashbacks which give him a little bit of backstory, but I wish they had been used more, or the ones that were used given longer to really illustrate the parts of Winston's childhood that are being shown. They could have been used more in conjunction with dialogue between the characters as well. This is done once or twice, but not enough. We do get a fuller picture of who Winston is, but it could have been more, especially given the really quite short runtime of this film. An extra 10 or 15 minutes of character development wouldn't have hurt. That being said, John Hurt and Susanna Hamilton are excellent as Winston and Julia. John Hurt is now the face I see when I think of Winston, and I can't give a higher compliment than that. He was perfectly cast in this film. It probably helps that even though he was only 44 during the making of it, he has always and will always look about 300. That man looks permanently worn and weathered, which is perfect for Winston. The most important thing, though, was that despite their age difference, John Hurt is 20 years older than Hamilton, I believed in their relationship. It's the most important interaction in the whole story, and the fact that I believed in it was critical to the whole thing working and having an emotional punch. I also have to mention Richard Burton in his last film role before his death. He is great as O'Brien, and O'Brien's scenes with Winston, especially towards the end of the film, are absolutely superb. There are a couple of issues with the film. The main one actually is with the sound. The levels are just bad. The character dialogue at times is so quiet as to be barely audible. You have actors giving great performances here. It would be really nice if we could actually hear them. This adaptation is the closest thing you'll find to the book without reading the book. So if you don't like reading, watch it. It does a lot of things right, especially in the casting, and doesn't make too many mistakes. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.